everyone to the Leveraging Advanced Sales Tools in the Signal session. I'm one of your hosts, Owen Hayes, VP of Strategy Advisor here at Bridgepointe, joined by our EVP of Technology, Mike Pereira. Give it up for Mike. Who's excited about the Signal? I know we got a lot of. Oh, come on. There we go. Awesome. So quick agenda for today. We're going to go through preparing for meetings, marketing, discovering best practices, and bringing in the best team. And we already introduced ourselves. Oh, this
over me. So I'm Van White. I'll be turning letters. We've talked a lot about sports in the last few days, right? Bringing the best team. You guys are the best players. You're hiring some of the best players. We're better as a team. Right? If anyone knows me, you'll get to know me over the next few days. I'm a huge basketball fan. It's what I love to do. I love to play. My kids play. It's all I love to do, right? So when you start looking at motivational, people, Michael Jordan, which we can have a debate whether he is or isn't the GOAT. He's one of my favorite, inspirational people because I grew up with him that way. But, the thing you've heard a few times, I think some of your last session is really being prepared. So one of the things he said is hey, I always believe if you put up the work, the results will come. Every morning at 6 a.m., I take my 15-year-old son 5 days a week and he puts up 1,000 shots every morning at 6 a.m. 6 guys show up. There's 30 people on the team, 6 guys show up. I can't imagine if 30 people showed up, right? So that's what we're saying. Hey, if you put in the work, the results will come. I've been at this company now 11 years, and everyone says the same thing, right? And I think I was looking around the room, I feel like there's some people who've been here that long. Chris Wright, right there, I always call him out. I try to tell people, if you just do the work, eventually the results will come. Book the meetings, bring the team, the results will come. And I hear people say, hey, everyone, I wish I had moved over a long time ago. I wish I could do that, right? Everyone says, hey, I want to make that happen. I wish I could make that happen, right? The truth is, you have to just make it happen, right? That's the thing. Wishing it, wanting it, isn't what's going to happen. You just got to make it happen. Do the work, the results will come. We're going to be here in the next.
Awesome. We're going to have to do a little swap here. So what we're going to be doing is, we'll be cutting in and out of our presentation. Going to keep things interesting here. I'm going to pop over to the Signal. So like Mike said, you've got to get out there, you've got to work for opportunity, right? It's not going to land on your lap. So one of the great tools we have is our integration with Zoom Info. So I'm here in the Signal. I want to get prospecting today, right? So I'm going to come over here to find leads. And this is our integration with Zoom Info. So there's 3 different types of searches that we can do for prospects. There's a contact search. So think of this as I want to look for someone that went to my university that lives in a 50-mile radius that's a VP of IT, right? So you're looking for a certain type of person. Then there's your company search, super wide net. I want financial services firms in the Bay Area. What we're going to look at today is the intent search. So this is looking for a specific type of buyer. What's hot right now, Mike? What's a product that's hot?
AI data center is huge.
AI data center. All right. So let's look at some AI data center. Let's see here. Oh, interesting. I'll give it a little refresh.
Live demos.
Live demos.
Hey.
We do it live.
We do a lot.
All right. We might be doing a different type of search. There we go. I am on the free hotel Wi-Fi, so anything's a little slow today. All right, so we're going to look at data center, and we're going to plug a Signal data. So I want to look for prospects that are interested in data center, really in the last month and a half. So we'll put in October 1st to today's date. And then, Mike, what do you think? Out by you? Good.
Sure,
Santa
Clara, hotbed, right?
All right.
Technology out.
And the fact that I know Mike's zip code cold, don't judge me on that. I'm not stalking him, I promise.
He doesn't know my room.
Well, I got no promises there, but so I'll go ahead and search this. We'll see what we come back with.
Yep, also be after.
Yeah. And so what this is going to do is going to pull up all the companies in a 50-mile radius of Santa Clara that are interested in data center, right? They have data center environment. Awesome. So we got results. 232 companies fall into that criteria. So let's take a look at it. Got some good companies here, just looking through. And you said AI and data center, right? So
Sure.
this company's AI Sarah. I'm gonna assume that they're an AI company. Let's pick them. So I'm gonna go ahead and save them to a list. All right. What do you guys want our list to be? Something creative. Anyone got any ideas?
Hotbed.
What's a hot what?
Hotbed.
Hotbed? Okay.
I said my room, you said hotbed.
I'm gonna call it Mike's
All right.
hotbed. Santa Clara. We'll be getting Mike's home address out after this. Please stick around for that. All right, so now we got a lead. So let's see, we're going to Mike's hotbed in Santa Clara. All right, so I'm gonna save this lead to a list. Alrighty. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop into AI Sarah's company record. I saw a couple contacts that they recommended and I reached out to from a data center perspective. So I'm coming over to these contacts. And let's look at their titles. Let's see who we should reach out to. All right, Dustin. Looks like Dustin's the IT infrastructure manager. So let's click into Dustin. Let's get him enrolled in some of our marketing campaigns. So I'm gonna come over here to marketing. And then we're gonna enroll Dustin in, you know what? I like to put people in the Bridgepointe newsletter that comes out once a month. And then we know he might be interested in data center, so we're gonna put him in the data center and cloud. And let's throw him in the general overview, right? Let's cast a wide net. Maybe he has a UCAS project or something like that. So we'll go ahead and do that.
What percentage of contacts are unsubscribing from these canned campaign letters?
Yeah, it depends, right? So for the newsletters, we don't have a very high unsubscribe rate. It's pretty valuable content. You definitely get bounces, right? Maybe the email is not legit. So we'll be able to now show you. You can see if something bounced or someone unsub. So we track all that in one of our dashboards.
Oh, and before you go.
Yeah.
Like you just put them into two different ones, data center and general overview.
Yeah.
Is it gonna, it'll just do one campaign rollout first and then the general?
That's a great question. So the Bridgepointe newsletter will come out once a month, and then the general and the data center cloud, they come out at static time, so they never overlap. So you're not gonna have your client getting like 2 emails from you on the same day. So they'll naturally be staggered, and then the campaigns run for 4 to 5 emails.
So the campaigns will run at the same time, but different days?
Different days, right? They can run in parallel, but we're not gonna bombard people.
Another quick question.
Yeah.
If I want to see those marketing emails, where do I go?
All right.
All right.
What a great segue. Thank you.
All
It's like an
right.
audience
I'll
plan.
help you out.
You were helping me out here. So if you want to see the campaigns, there's 2 ways you can do it. So one way would be to come into the knowledge base, which is, and by the way, guys, if you think Signal is difficult, I am doing this with my left hand, not my dominant hand, one-handed, so. And Christina, who was here with me last year, knows I made that same joke, so I'm a joke repeater, so I apologize for that. And let's go ahead and go over to, that's in our marketing and brand materials, sample campaigns marketing. So you can see them here. I just did the long way. The search is also a really easy way. You can just search campaigns and it'll come up. And then I'll actually show you what those look like. So here's an example of our overview campaign. Yeah.
Can you just add yourself?
What's that?
Can't you just add yourself to the campaign?
Yeah, you can. You can do that as well.
Instead of-
Yeah. So if you've got like a Gmail or something like that, I will say it won't work with your Bridgepointe email because you're already going to be enrolled in HubSpot. Because all of our Bridgepointe email people have marketing content that we send you. So, but use your personal email. So this is one of the examples of a general overview campaign that we just enrolled Dustin in. So why companies like Adobe and Netflix rely on us, right? So that's a great one. And I'll show you one more, if I can find it in here. And then this is the data center campaign that Dustin's gonna get, right? So struggling to find a data center or cloud resource, we can help. Right, so just great quick resources.
So I saw you enroll them.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you need to do? Is that?
That's it actually. So when you enroll them, you're actually gonna have the option to select what email it's coming from. So you can say, hey, this is coming from my own email. Maybe you've got another strategist that works with you, like Dustin, you could choose between you and Alex. So you can do that, but no, it's off to the races with that.
And it's gonna look like it's coming from you, not
Yeah,
us, and look like it's coming from you, and If the customer responds, what happens?
Yeah, exactly. So you'll get your email signature there at the bottom. It'll have your email link. If they respond, it's coming directly to your email. Imran, do you have a question?
Yeah, two questions. So, how often do these refresh, the campaigns? Is it once a quarter?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we do them like, I'd say semi-annually. So it's like not quite every quarter, every 4 to 5 months. This is how often we're refreshing them. And you don't have to re-enroll when the content refreshes. So we'll send 4 to 5 in the drip campaign, and if you have them still in the data center campaign, when we have new content, it'll get pushed out to your customer.
Yeah, so that actually leads to another question, because, you said, so you've got general and you got data centers running the same. They're gonna run, whatever their 3, 4, 5 term is, and then it'll be silent for another 6 months until they're renewed.
Yeah, exactly. So and it'll be, so if they're released over the course of a month, yeah, it would probably be 3 to 4 months. That's why I recommend having the Bridgepointe newsletter in the meantime, because that comes out every single month no matter what. So that's why I always had that
But
one.
what if I were to do the general and then 2, 3 weeks later add the data center?
Yeah, sure.
Right, and now what I've done is, instead of, let's say it's a 5-week thing, so now I can make it 10 weeks. So
Absolutely.
5 and 5.
And then add security one, and then add the.
Right.
Yeah, you can
Contact
cycle
center.
through
But
that.
then now, but here's the thing, how do I make it staggered on that screen instead of remembering to go into the game? And if you automate
Can you
that stagger,
schedule it? It's good, that's good.
Yeah.
if you could.
That's good feedback. We can't do that today, but that's really good
Then
feedback.
I've got another bigger thing. These emails don't have call back.
Well, they can, I mean, so if the.
So if they had a button,
Okay.
could you just add a button, say contact me, because there's no call to action? What are they gonna do? Reply? Hit reply.
That's something that we can do. We can definitely add a call to action. Something we'll have like a download,
So here's the
feature.
thing, right? Marketing email, you could be all worked up. But there's nowhere to go.
That's great feedback. Absolutely.
That's great, yeah.
I think that's a pretty easy add for us. for
So
sure.
give me the.
Real quick on the emails. On the emails, when you're trying to find the templates that don't put on screen, if you're a Mac user, you're not gonna be able to open the emails because they're .email formats and Mac will not open them. There's a crazy stupid hack you gotta do to get them. If you're a Mac user and you have problems, I'm happy to help you walk through that. It's annoying.
What about a little bit, I mean, we're in the age of AI, right? Like allowing some customization of these campaigns, right? Like, cause this, what comes out, we can't touch it, right?
Yeah, right now they are static, right? They've been approved and vetted by marketing.
Right, but what if we wanted to add a little something that says we know about their business or what's important to them?
I mean, if you want to do something
That's
custom,
really
I mean,
right?
you absolutely could. I just work with our marketing team.
Yeah, work with Maria, and that's actually part of what Mike Sterl talked about on the main stage. Like, this is where we are today, but we're continuing to add enhancements. So all the feedback you guys are giving today is awesome.
No, I get it, it's to get
You
them
don't
to
agree,
respond to
right?
us initially.
But I think there's a drip, which is like just touch points,
Yep.
and then you can do your
That's right.
That's what.
targeting
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
So
This is
then how do I
mainly just to
personal?
get your name.
And that becomes personalized.
And I'm gonna show one more thing here, guys, and then we'll keep moving because we got a couple other things to get through. So if you want to track how these campaigns are performing, you can come into ABM Email Analytics. This is going to show you where you have cold leads, warm leads, hot leads. And you can see I've got some demo ones plugged in here. They're coming up as cold, right, because they're fake, but then you got a couple ones that will show up as warm. And then you got hot leads, right? So when you get a hot lead, that's something you want to act on pretty closely, right? Because they're engaging with your content in some way or another.
What's the difference? What's the difference between warm and hot and cold?
Yeah, great. So like cold could mean, they're not reading it, maybe they dropped, they unsubscribed. A warm lead means they probably opened it once or twice. If it's a hot lead, they're engaging with the email. They've maybe gone back, read multiple emails of yours, perhaps, and there are some calls to action, clickable links that give them PDF downloads. Maybe they click that, maybe they follow through to our website. So that's what a hot lead is. You'll get a notification, a proactive email notification that you have a hot lead, please reach out to this customer. All right, so.
And if you have a call to action, then you have to wait for that.
We're gonna add the call to action for you.
Please.
So our friend Dustin just clicked on the email and he wants a call with us. So now
I think we beat this a little bit to death, right? But I'm gonna say it again, right? You're about to get on a call, you got a hot lead, what do you need to do? Prepare, right? How do you prepare for that call, right? You invite the right resources, where do you get the resources? That's what we're gonna show you how to do. So just prepare to win. I look at it like, you do all this work, you made all these calls, you sent all these emails, you've been practicing all year, and now you get to get stuff into the game. It's game time, right? You've been sitting on that bench just waiting to play. Now you get to play, right? It's game time. So how do you prepare? So we're gonna show you how to do that.
Yeah, we're gonna show you how to prepare. And because I'm a data guy, so 80% of top sellers say they're always conducting research before reaching out to prospects, right? So like Mike said, do the research, know who you're talking to. It adds a ton of value, and we're gonna show our example of how exactly that's gonna work out here. So we're gonna go back over to our AI customer data center prospect, AI Sarah. I'm just doing a search on them. Let's go pull them up. And I want to just do a little research on this company, right? I want to know what I'm getting into before I get on my first call with them. So I'm coming over to the Zoom info tab. I'm going to read a little bit about the company, figure out what it is that they do. Is there anything going on in the news? Any type of scoops that are going on? These are all integrations with Zoom info that I'm able to pull. So I know that the buyer was interested in data center. Maybe there's something else that they have intent data for. So I'm going to check that first. This is great. CX, data center. CX is actually, it's funny because I have looked at this in advance. CX is a brand new one. That one wasn't there last time I looked. So that is a very new opportunity for CX, data center, disaster recovery. So these guys are checking all the boxes.
Signal score and audience strength, what are those? I mean, how's that scoring work?
Yes, sure. So and I believe there's like a little I. So signal score is really the validity. I don't want to say the validity; it's all valid, but it's how often they're interacting, how many people within that company. So that means there's multiple stakeholders that are engaging and are researching content, going out to Google and searching for a certain product. And then audience strength is really going to be the level of those contacts. Great. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah.
Quick dumb question,
Yeah.
sorry.
Go ahead.
So, the intent shows up for the company that looked it up.
Okay.
But we missed a step, and that was figuring out who to send the email to.
Yeah. So
You don't know that this is the person that did it.
It's a great segue. So what Zoom Info is doing and the way we've designed it, it's recommending the appropriate contact for that specific product. So if you see here, there's 4 or 5 names for data center, and Dustin was the IT infrastructure manager we mentioned before. So he's one of the stakeholders for that. So that's what we go on market.
So you guys have already kind of put in a template, so to speak. These are our buyer, profiles.
Based on their titles and profiles.
Exactly.
Yeah, because when I try to do this in Zoom Info on my own, then I've got to look for a particular title, or I've created buyer committees. But what will happen is those titles may not translate across different companies.
Sure. No, that's fair. That's fair.
Question. So you guys have figured that out in here?
Yeah, so it's codified. Like data center, it showed us the IT infrastructure manager, right? So, and it'll show you the CIO. Was there another question?
How does the signal know, all 46 of us go try and send Justin an email after how does it know?
That's actually a really great question. So a contact can only be enrolled in one HubSpot campaign at a time from one strategist. So it's the race to who can get to customers.
Got it. Okay. No, that's fair.
He's in our demo.
If you want to talk about a reason to use the tools.
No. Yeah, exactly.
Will it tell us?
Exactly.
Yeah, it tells.
It'll tell you. It'll say contact your sales team. Yeah. So if you see that, you can always reach out to one of us. Go ahead, James.
So for exports, I think you said something about 500 total per month.
Yep, it's 500 credits per month.
Is that companies or is that people?
It's both. So every contact you download counts as a credit, and then the company record itself is a credit. So if you download a company with 5 contacts, that'll be 6 credits. Cool. All right, I'm gonna keep it moving here. So I'm looking at news articles for AI Sarah. Looks like they were named a leader in the Gartner Magic Quadrant for AI. So we got some good info on them. I'm gonna check out Scoops. So this is actually a really good one. So AI Sarah has more open roles in IT than it's had in any time in the last 6 months. So clearly they need help, right? So the timing of our call is perfect. So what I'm gonna do next is, I'm just gonna get ready for the call. I'm gonna go ahead and download the Bridgepointe overview deck, make sure I'm presenting that. So I'm gonna come to the knowledge base. gonna come over here to our general materials. And then I'm just gonna pop into our deck. And I'll say, like, this is critical. Like, go through the deck. Like, go through the deck, whether you're doing it for 5 minutes, you spend 2 minutes on it. Mike, you're a master at this. You wanna do a quick run through this? I think we got it. I think we got it. Yeah, you do it quick.
I'm doing quick, 2 minutes, right?
Yeah, 2 minutes.
2 minutes? I can get done in 2 minutes, apparently.
Impress us, make sure you,
So number one, hey, prep intros, right? Don't forget to introduce, I think you heard last session, introduce yourself, introduce the team. And you don't have to wait it. Make sure you ask the customer to introduce themselves. Set the agenda, we're gonna give you a quick overview, right? So really I tell people, hey, we've been in business 22 years. We're an IT strategist firm. We help people evaluate, implement, and manage technology. It can be as simple as that. You know, we help customers achieve 20-30% savings. We help them implement projects 3 to 5 months faster, and we have a 97% client satisfaction rate. What I usually say the 97% means to me, might just be full of shit, but it's what I like to say, is like 97% of the customers that try us once will come back to us for a second project. It just sounds good. I like it. So, we've been doing this 22 years now. We have over 200, engineering, procurement, employees of the company. Well, I think this needs to be updated. We have like 16,000 client engagements and about 145 qualified strategists. And these are the 6 major technology areas that we spend our time in. I'm not gonna do it today. I'll go through each one of the practices. I run, if I'm on the call, I run all of engineering. I have a technology practice lead in every one of these 6 core areas. They are experts in the space. I'm like, depending on what project we may talk about, we'll bring an expert or multiple experts to the phone to support those projects to completion. And we support all that with our lifecycle services team that can do telecom expense management, project management, implementation services, really help customers fill the gaps that the rest of these things don't do. We have a wide variety of customers in every major vertical, right? Every major vertical, Fortune 50, Fortune 1, Fortune 500, there's not probably a customer out there we haven't worked with and someone in your vertical that's just like you guys. We work with over 200 plus suppliers. A lot of times in this slide, I'll talk about like, hey, we complement a relationship with one of these suppliers. We'll work with the same seller you're working with to complement that relationship, bring more value to the table. That's it. How can I help you guys? Tell me more about it. That was a minute, 2 minutes? Okay, maybe I go a little bit slower than that. But effectively, right, take 5 minutes. And what you'll find, what I find, is you get here a lot of times, and they're like, you know what, I really want to talk to you about this. You're like, cool, well, let me finish up in 5 minutes, we'll go right back to that. Is there anything else that's, and then, and sometimes I'll just be like, well, let's just go there. That's fine, I'm going to talk about that now. If it doesn't happen there, a lot of times it'll happen here. Oh, we work with this company, and that happens. And sometimes it happens here too, where they're like, they recognize they're just like one of the logos on the slide. And they say, tell me what you guys did for them. And if you heard in the session earlier, you may not have that intimate knowledge of like, hey, what did we do for Zoom? Like, what did we do for MasterCard or something, right? But like, a lot of your leadership team does. So like, if you bring some high-level people to the call, they can usually tell a good story without violating NDAs to kind of bring a lot of credibility to the call. So that's it. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's one of my worst nightmares. I love the whole idea. If I'm on the call, I do that. Well, tell me, what did you do? If I don't have you,
Yeah.
I don't have Dom, because I like to have you guys on the call.
Sign an NDA.
Then also what I would tell people is like, hey, there's 140 people in this company that do this. Let me schedule a fall call, and I'll gladly bring to the table the person that works with this company. We'll schedule a fall call. No problem. Easy. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think Mike crushed that pitch, and I think now the customer wants a product-specific call. So I'm actually gonna walk back over here.
All right, we're
That's a great
It's
job.
all right. We got on the call, we did some discovery. We realized this guy truly has a data center project. Right? So there is something specific. He said, hey, I really want to talk about data center. He said, great. Well, now you just say, okay, well, I want to bring in the best team. Who is the best person in this company to talk about data center? That's what you're gonna do. Mel. Mel is by far. Maybe who's the second best company?
You're not so bad yourself.
Maybe Saw. Saw. You never know where these calls are gonna go sometimes, right? So like, how do I schedule Mel or Saw, right? Even Michael Jordan said, hey, talent wins game, teamwork in intelligence wins championships, right? we're here to win the championship, right? We're gonna hit the Grand Slam. The Grand Slam is a game changer. You do the work, you're gonna get some basic. Every probably once or twice a year, you're gonna find a Grand Slam. Like, and when that shows up, you wanna make sure you're prepared. So that's when you bring the best team. So
Yeah.
you gotta show them how to bring the best team.
Let's bring the best team in. Let's bring them in. All right, so I'm popping over here to the signal. So the first thing I'm gonna do is we identified an opportunity, so I'm gonna create a lead with our friends over at AI Sarah. So they're already in the system, so they're gonna pop right up here. Don't need to fill anything out. We know that the infrastructure manager, Dustin down here, was the one who was interested. So let's get an opportunity built under him for data center and cloud. There we go. And he's interested in retail colocation, right? So it's gonna be a few racks. Right. Now, we want to know who the best engineer to bring in this case is gonna be. So we're actually gonna get a recommendation. Saad, you're the man, and thankfully he's gracious with our plans today. So we're gonna book Saad for this meeting, right? We know we're gonna get into the bits and bytes with the customer. Customer's a little smarter than I am, so I wanna make sure I've got Saad here to help out. We're gonna book an hour, always book an hour, right Mike?
If you can.
You need an hour, if you can get it. And we're gonna get Saad locked in on the calendar. All right, and the next thing I'm gonna do, I'm not actually gonna put it on your calendar, Saad, so I know how busy you are. The next thing we're gonna do is grab the data center back. So we're gonna come back again to our knowledge base. That's kind of like our hub for all, yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Shouldn't you add him as a collaborator before?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point. We should add him as a collaborator to the deal. I'll go back and show him that.
He's on account where he can't see the account yet, or can he count that?
He can see
He
all.
can see it in our system, yeah.
And if you don't add him to the deal, he'll add himself to the deal eventually.
That's right.
But he has to do some work by looking at, okay, who's on the calendar, they go to it, rather than just add him as a collaborator. Okay.
Yep. So I'm gonna go ahead, and I know Saad always comes prepared, but I wanna do some preparation on my own as well. I'm just gonna pull our data center deck down. And then I'm also gonna, get our discovery templates.
Real quick, there's a really important thing that a lot of folks miss. These are not the only docs. Your little tiny text right here for you all. There are gonna be 20 or 30 documents down there, so don't just think that's it. Be sure you see the whole window and find what you're looking for.
Thank you for that, Paul. As you can see, there's 9 documents here, so you can see them all on that first thing. So one of the things I downloaded here was our data center discovery tool. And Mike, you want to just walk through how you go through this on a call?
I'll go through super quick and hey, what you've done is when you've invited Saad. So Saad's gonna pull this up. You can pull it up. It's available to you all you guys. If you're not on the call, or if you're on the call one, you can ask these same questions. I have unfortunately done my classes, so I'm not going to do a great job of going through this, but this is on Signal. And the goal of this, and hopefully you guys can see it better than I can, right? You got the customer name, customer contact, a little bit about the project overview. There's drop downs in here, space, power, everything you could need to know around qualifying this data center opportunity. You can ask all these questions, fill out all these blanks, like this is one that I already filled out. At the bottom here, there's some extra questions around AI, like large wholesale deals that are going to be a little bit more unique. The goal of this, right, is one, when you get off that call and you hit save, what are you going to do? You're going to say, Saad, who should I register this deal with? Who's a good fit for this company, right? And you can save this and attach it to your registration so that the data center company has all the same information you have. Because then what happens is they're going to be calling you. What's the company? Why is the project? What's the timeline? Or what kind of power do they want? What kind of racks do they want? All that's right in here for you, right? Just fill in the blanks. Go ahead, Chris.
It's the first time I've ever seen this. So this attaches to the actual lead, you're saying?
Well, I'm saying is that when you register it, you can send it to the suppliers. Yes, you can attach it to the lead. You can attach anything you want in Salesforce, Chris. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You did the deal rush. Yep. So, go ahead, Tom.
I was gonna say, what this also has is Mike mentioned the drop downs, the way Mike designed this, right? So the drop downs have a lot of the answers to questions that customers could ask. Do you have 415 volt power? Do you have this, that? The drop downs will help you answer if you, otherwise it's like the last one. Hey, let me bring somebody on. Here's an opportunity for a next call. We'll bring somebody on, Mel, side, depending on whoever JV, and we can walk through it.
And these are the specifications the data center providers are going to want to do to accept your registration, right? So this may, I don't say they may still call you wrong, but effectively, like, you've already gotten all the data, which is huge.
Yeah.
Now, while Saad did this discovery with you, he found a VMware opportunity because he asked, by the way, like, he asked another question. Is this like, am I going to?
No, you're good.
Okay. He asked a few extra questions. He asked the most important question. Why? I'm looking for a data center in Santa Clara. Great. How much space? How much power? How much network? Oh, that's great. Why? Why? What's the driver? Shut down an office. We're expanding, to the East Coast. We're expanding globally. My IT guy quit. Our VMware license is killing me. It tripled in cost. Our infrastructure's 5 years old, right? All those things. He asked why, right? He didn't just qualify the deal. He asked that simple question. So he asked why. So, but why? If Henry Ford said, what do you want? People said a faster horse, right? That's what we're saying, right? What do I want? Looking for a data center. All right, well, I can say a data center all day. But why? What are you doing, right? And part of the reason you want to ask that question is selling infrastructure as a service is 5-10 times more profitable than selling cold space and power, right? If I couple with VMware licensing, that's even more profitable, right? So like, just ask a few more questions, right? So that's kind of the idea.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. And another nice data point here. So 86% of business buyers are most likely to buy if sellers understand their goals. So just back to Mike's point, people want to be understood even if they don't quite understand themselves, right? So you have to ask those probing questions. So I'm going to flip back over to the signal here. And we're going to show you, so we've got the requirements, right? So, we know we identified a data center lead, so we're going to work on that. I'm going to start with our data center finder. So they're looking in Santa Clara. So go ahead and go to region. There we go, Santa Clara. Or Mike, you said there's some other requirements that are out there.
He wanted interconnected cloud, was asking for maybe for cloud exchange.
Okay.
We asked about compliance, what kind of compliant data center. He said he was looking for like a SOC 2 and ISO compliant data center.
Okay.
And he wanted a place that had full-time security. A lot of people, you think all data centers have full-time security. Some of them don't. Some of them are lights out. So those were like his 4 things that he was looking for.
All right, so full-time security. So I don't know if you guys are following along, I'm moving quickly here, but we started with over 60 data centers in Santa Clara. When I plugged in all the requirements, SOC 2, ISO, Megaport present in the facility, and full-time 24/7 security, we're down to just 6. Right, so we've already made the customer's life so much easier, and now we know where we can start going after some facilities, right? So let's start with the Center Square option. So 4700 Old Ironside. The customer also said they needed 10 gig dual DIA. So like I want to make sure that there's good availability in this location. So I'm actually just going to copy and paste this. And let's pop over to our bandwidth finder next, make sure that there's some good connectivity options there. I love the name Old Ironsides. Like I feel that's like Randy Clark's like fraternity nickname or something like that. Old Ironsides. Pirate.
Well, it's just right across the street from the Niners facility, coincidentally.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
All right, so let's pop this in. So we're going to see now from a carrier perspective who's available within this facility. All right, awesome. So we got some good on-net providers. We can actually see now, and this is brand new, so kind of doing this here live for the first time. We can actually see the entrances to the facilities now as well. So we can see all the fiber route maps. So a lot of you have requested this. This was one of the things that came out of last year. So we've gone ahead and added that in.
So now what do we know, right? We know which data centers we want to register with because we found those 6 that it cycled down to. We may broaden the scope. So we say, you ought to hit these couple too. It may happen that way. We also know that he found an infrastructure of VMware opportunity.
Yeah.
Right? So Saad found another opportunity. Now you don't know yet at this point, is he going to buy data centers? Is he going to buy infrastructure, VMware licensing? So it's like, well, how do I find a VMware partner? Right? How do I find that? Because that's not the data center company. So who's the right VMware partner? So
Yeah.
you go to our cloud matrix.
Yes, so we're gonna go to the cloud matrix.
I'm not taking this from you.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
go ahead, you
yeah,
try.
Yeah,
So
no.
you go to our cloud matrix, which we have all our matrices here, and under our cloud matrix, there's a little section there that says VMware Impact. And you can click on there, and you can see who are the VMware partners that we work with. I understand knowing you have your glasses.
Yep, that's okay.
So let's pick a VMware Pinnacle partner. And let's say we also want to pick someone who does an alternate hypervisor. So they also represented that, hey, we might be interested in a company where we want to look at someone who do in VMware. We want to look at maybe someone who do infrastructure services, but we might think about going to Nutanix or Hyper-V or something else, right? So instead of like going to 7 or 8 different partners, like I think I'd rather just go to someone who can do either, right? So like we get a little search bar here, you can narrow down a second set of opportunities, same customer, 2 different set of vendors. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's great. And so let's show it. So we're already looking at 5 providers that meet the scope that Mike's talking about. And here's a great matrix. Like this is saving your customers tons of time and research. I mean, Mike's team has really done a great job putting this together. And the cool thing is we can actually just share this as a link directly to your customer. So they'll get a deliverable. You can email this to them. I know some people are a little paranoid. What I'd recommend at this point is don't send them all of our proprietary information and hard-earned knowledge of these 5 suppliers. Let's go ahead and register the deal before we share this document. So, gotta think smart, right? So let's go back to our AI Sarah data center deal that we were talking about before, and let's go ahead and register some of these providers. So it's pretty simple. We've actually done a good job. We had a lot of great input on making the deal reg process a lot simpler now. So we're just gonna hit create new case. We'll select deal reg. And you can send it to other people, right? Maybe you have a partner that you work with that you wanna also have see the results. But I'm just gonna say, 10, I don't know, I was gonna say data center, but we'll say 10 VMs. Oh, you're smart. Throw it in there. And then we'll go ahead and register this. It is not a multi-site. We're gonna tie it to their HQ. And now I can go and grab those 5 suppliers I mentioned on the previous screen, all just here on a dropdown. And this is a live environment, so I'm not gonna actually click them. I don't want to send 5 fake deal register. Although Dustin does seem like he's really interested in buying at this point. It's very
We've done on this screen because of API access and how it doesn't work. This list is not exactly alphabetical. It's based on when they were entered. So if you scroll down, you're looking for something in the ends, you find yourself in the S's, keep scrolling because there's other stuff later in the list. You can't start alphabetically. It's a code issue, not a Bridgepointe issue. So you use the search or scroll all the way so you don't miss anybody.
Yeah, if you can't find something, I always recommend use the search. The search works really well.
Also, if that supplier that you're looking for is not there, you just simply select the first one, which is 8x8, and in the note section, just say this is for,
Comment it out.
X, Y, and Z supplier.
That's
not
perfect.
8x8.
Yeah,
And then we'll add those suppliers that are new potentially.
right. Because we are constantly adding new suppliers, right? That's,
But this is just for the suppliers that require registration. Is that the reason why they're not showing?
Is there a supplier that doesn't require registration?
Yes, then it would be a straight quote request.
yeah, like if you're doing like a transactional network quote.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm sorry.
You just go right
Yeah, I haven't gotten this level yet.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
No problem. No problem at all. All right, so then what we're gonna wanna do next is we're gonna start getting the quotes back, right? So you're gonna work with your SA, the SCs, and you're gonna start putting a proposal template together.
Question.
Yeah.
Where, that drop down checklist that doesn't go with it, that's what I was kind of getting alluded to earlier. That goes with
Oh,
the
can it be
registration.
attached to the?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't click all the way through, but there's actually, on the next screen, there's an option to attach a file. So if you have your discovery questionnaire filled out, you can actually put that file right on the deal reg, and it'll be sent to the suppliers. Okay. Yeah. That's a
Save
great
your
question.
headache, save your headache, Chris.
What?
You'll save your headache of them asking you 1,000 questions.
The whole process takes less than the time it takes to call and ask how to do it.
All right, and
Do the job,
and
do the
Mike's-
work, get it done. Go
Yeah.
do it.
Mike's gonna walk through the proposal template here real quick.
So,
We're short on time.
all of these documents and stuff are in our knowledge base, right? So now you've gotten quotes back from all your suppliers, deals have been registered, you're gonna go propose to the customer, here's a data center quote template, for example. You can use this data center quote template, put this data, normalize it, there's a lot of great information here you can get from the suppliers, populate this and use this as your proposal to the customer, so that you're not just sending over quotes from the suppliers. That's typically how we do it. In addition to that, like it gets a little more advanced, On larger deals, there's also on here a scoring template. This is, I don't see Sod anywhere. Oh, there's Sod. Sod put a lot of stuff together. A lot of times customers come to us and say like, we don't want to really deal with an RFP, but like we do want to show our executive team a way like how do we rank these things and how do we score them. So Sod's put together this really nice scoring template. We have been, quite frankly, almost every one of our practices that scores these suppliers based on customers' criteria. Go ahead, Sod.
There's a upcoming version that will be posted, that most of this data, except the deal-specific data, will pre-populate once you pick a supplier, and the supplier will do a drop-down. So all of this stuff for most of the data about the supplier will come from the matrix that you already showed up.
And then the other thing that's nice is when you go through the scoring, there's this little, called like kind of Gartner quadrant mapping that, like, I don't know why it's showing, so that's not showing up on there. But this
It might be super zoomed in, maybe.
Yes. There you go. It'll like kind of rank them on a Gartner quadrant. This is just simple stuff like customers can take it to their executive team and say, hey, we toured these data centers, we did scoring, we had an agnostic process, we made our decision based on facts, not just emotion, and this is the selection you made, and here's the justification for it. Right?
And that same scoring for UCAS, CCAS, security, run the
We have a bunch. I'll tell you, like UCAS, yes, CCAS, yes, infrastructure, data center, network can be a little more tricky. Security, super. There's not one there for security, and can it be used? Yes, but it'll be highly customizable. Why is that? There's like 4,000 products.
Yeah.
Like you talk about data center, it's a little bit easier.
Yep.
UCAS, easier, right? We have one for CX. Once again, there's a lot of features in CX, but the same methodology and scoring can be used for all of them. The security is the hardest. Honestly, like that's a super.
We just built one for a security RFP for a customer of Nick's, and it was a full-blown question and answer session across 5 service providers. We actually did a scoring template for them.
Yep.
So if you have a project that justifies it and you think you needed to close it, absolutely, come find one of us and we'll walk you through it.
We've done it for like managed IT deals as well. But those are very project specific. Like, yeah, you got a $2,000 deal. Like, we're not doing this big complex scoring down, right? You get a $50,000 monthly deal. Okay, let's do it.
Yep. Awesome, and you guys have had a lot of great questions, a lot of great feedback. Engage with me, engage with the SAs. Tom's here, Christina's here. We've got a lot of great resources to help train on the Signal. Tom's done a great job putting together a dedicated session just to go through Signal. So please attend those, engage with the SAs, and we'll bring it on home, Mike.
Yeah. Well, so what do I got left?
Yeah.
I think we're running out of time.
He's the motivational guy.
All right.
Let's press the
Okay,
buttons.
we got it. So this was Steve Jobs, right? You already did we've getting to this point. You've done all this hard work. You worked your butt off. You made the calls. You generated leads. You prepped for it. Did the discovery. You registered the deals. Sold the deals. You did all this. Customers like loving you. They're never, by the way, they're never going to love you more probably except at that moment because you know how it goes. Sometimes the shit don't go right. You know what I'm saying? This is telecom. It doesn't always go perfect, right? When it doesn't go perfect, they call you, pick up the phone. That's the least you can do. So right now, like that's when it's time to say, hey, I think Brian's in us. How do we do? You know, most people we take through this process like super impressive. And that's when you say, hey, can you refer me to your next to some of your colleagues, right? Turn consumers into evangelists, not just customers, right? That is your best reference, is that person who just bought from you, right? That's it. Take all that hard work and turn it into your next deal. There's not a better person to do that.
Ask them for a recommendation on LinkedIn, that's what we'll tell you in the next room. And it's gonna show up to everyone of your network and everybody you know's network. Because you got a recommendation from a customer for a project like this.
I think we're done. Any questions?
On the requirements gathering, when you're talking to the customer and you do it on phone call, are we looking at an Excel spreadsheet or an online form?
That currently is an Excel spreadsheet.
Okay.
We are going to get that built into Salesforce as an online form. Once again, there's a lot of variables, right? Data center is probably one of the easiest ones because the SKUs are pretty similar across all platforms. You get in other licensing that's a little bit harder. So our goal is to get it into a Salesforce form. Today it's Excel, but it's super useful in that way. And I like, and here's one thing I'm gonna ask you guys, right? Don't just like don't just email it out to people, you guys. Like, you know, I mean, we have it locked down, but like, that's, you know what happens? People get in my team, they go, Mike, can you send that to me? And then they send it to their customer. I'm like, ugh. Like, now they don't need you so bad. Like, they know exactly, like, just ask them the questions, fill that stuff out. Like, once you're moving through the deal, and like, it's not uncommon that people come to me and say, hey, can you send me that, you know, discovery, send me the work. Yeah, no problem. We're 3 months in this deal, we're winning, we have a relationship. God help, I'll send you whatever I have. But like, just blast it out to like a prospect, that's a bad idea. And it happens all the time, you guys. Like, maybe not you guys in this room. These guys in the other room. You know what I mean? Those guys. Those guys did it, right? All right, thank you guys very much.